What is going on, New York Giants fans? We got ourselves a fun show today. I got my man Rodney with me. We're going to talk about some breaking news. As you guys already know, that's why you guys clicked on this stream. Joe Judge is gone. He is fired. Um, in a very interesting turn of events, man. I mean, at one point, dude's job was safe. Another moment, he's now going to be on the unemployment line. So, man, what a turn of events, man. But before we get into that, Rodney, I got you here, my man. Hey, I think Rodney's a little busy right now, but that's all good. So this actually came off of Josina Anderson, right? We all knew that Joe Judge's job was in the air, um, but we didn't know the severity of it. Jay Glazer came out and said, before Sunday's game, he was 50%. Then after the game, he said he was 25%. And, when Jay Glazer came out and said that, he really felt that the players, and excuse me, not just felt, but he had insight, let alone, that the players were sort of not in favor of not bringing Joe Judge back. Um, it's very telling. Usually, you want to listen to people like Jay Glazer, man. Uh, but before I read the Josina Anderson tweet, Rodney, my man, how you doing, man? Tell the people how you feeling.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How I'm feeling, man? It was a shock.
Oh
Literally,
yeah,
it was a shock. Uh, what more can I say? It's one of those things right now where no, some people saw it coming, some people didn't. A lot of people like myself was just pretty much just trying to figure out what are they doing. Gettleman retires. Joe Judge is in the building taking meetings. What's going on? What are they gonna do? And it was like I said, it was just a shock, man. Just a big
yeah.
time shock. I honestly didn't see it coming. I actually thought they were going to bring him back.
Yeah, I was there too. I had released a video where I pretty much said, I wouldn't really be upset if Joe Judge came back next year. I would actually understand it. I would want him to, see out what he's doing. But as the last two games progressed, especially last week against Washington, this team looked abysmal. This team looked horrendous. What's going on, Jaden? What's going on, Mark? I appreciate you guys coming through, man, for real. Um, we looked abysmal. We didn't even look like a football team. Our defense was literally the only light to the team. Our offense was non-existent. And honestly, to even call this team a an NFL team, it would be a disrespect to the game, in my honest opinion. And I think that when you look at the product that Joe Judge has placed on the field, you can't deny. And look, I want to say this much. Yes, Joe Judge had quite a few things working against him. Obviously, he didn't have his offensive coordinator that he wanted. He was stuck with Jason Garrett. On top of that, we had an abysmal offensive line that Dave Gettleman really didn't help him with. Injuries, COVID. There's a lot of things that play into it, but you can make that same argument for a lot of teams, and they find ways to get it done. You look at teams like the Texans, you look at the teams like the Lions, the Jaguars. You look at a team like Baltimore, who and Tennessee, who led the league in injuries. The good teams figure it out, and this team just looked like week in and week out. We were underprepared. We didn't know what was going on. Time management was beyond putrid, and we did not look like we were on the same page in any way, shape, or form. And in my honest opinion, man, it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting because I thought that Joe Judge was going to be one of those coaches that is a hallmark in the New York Giants organization. Such as like Tom Coughlin, Bill Parcells, Jim Fossil. Um, so it's just, unfortunately, that's not the case here. It sucks, but Rodney, let me ask you something, man. I mean, do you feel that this was the right thing to do if you're John Mara? I mean, do you feel that that with the next general manager coming in, you would want him to get that guy that he wants, or do you feel that maybe this wasn't necessarily the right decision, but right now we're going to be dealing with players from the old regime plus players from this regime. And now you got to also bring in players for the next regime for your coaches. So I just wanted to see really where do you stand with this, man?
I'm in the middle. My thing was I looked at it from both perspectives. If you brought him back, there's a reason why. And the most glaring reason is that you've already gotten rid of two coaches within 2 years,
Yep.
McAdoo and Shermer. You didn't want to, have a continuous carousel of coaches coming in and out, in and out. It's not good for the locker room. It's not good for the organization. It basically just shows that you really don't have any type of structure going on in your organization to be able to build off of multiple coaches coming in and out, in and out, in and out. But in the same breath, I'm like, well, this guy has shown you that in 2 years, he really hasn't accomplished anything. We as fans, we sit down and we watch, the games every Sunday. And the way we're looking at it is that this team is going nowhere.
Yeah.
So again, we're going to ask the same question. What is this coach even bringing to the table? As far as, the higher ups front office, I think we give John Mara a very hard time as far as, how the organization is, how it's ran, what should be going on for what shouldn't be going on. And I think, and I might be wrong, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it.
Mm.
Maybe, just maybe, with everything that has been going on social media, everything that he's probably has been seeing as far as from Joe Judge or ESPN, what he has been seeing and probably hearing from all those analysts on ESPN and on, the talk shows and the radio shows, it probably came to a head, for him and Steve Tisch. You know what? We're going to be losing a whole lot of money if we don't get a control of this thing and fix it.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think that you hit the nail on the coffin. And honestly, I know a lot of people were talking about, well, you don't want to get rid of him because it's going to be a constant cycle. He's building a culture. And look, I get it. I understand that, we're not having players put golf clubs in front of their lockers anymore. But Judge, we're not winning. We're not winning anything at all. We're not putting a product on the field, in your own words, that make the people of New York proud. I mean, it's embarrassing. And honestly, I mean, I know a lot of fans, including myself, had this team as a double-digit winning team, especially with the acquisitions, that they made in the offseason, which really they were trying to sell the fans that, we're in a win now mode. This is our, we're going to be fine. Dude, week in and week out, it just looked like it progressively got worse. And there was moments where, the team looked like, they were getting things going. And then you had moments where they looked like they never played before. Um, but hold on, let me just get to a couple of these comments in the chat. D-Mac Warrior says he still can't believe it. Jaden says he had to go. He's such a bad coach. Hey man, I mean, I had high expectations for Judge, and to say that he disappointed me it's an understatement. It really is. What's going on, NYG 31? Nice to have you in, man. Nice seeing you. What's going on, Joseph Clark? He says, I was open to Joe Judge coming back, but this feels like a fresh start. I feel more relieved. Yeah, man. Actually, no, let me get your thoughts first, Rodney. How you feel about this? Do you feel more
As far
relieved?
as, well, yes, the reason why I feel a whole, relieved is because now we don't have to wonder whether or not they're going to be limiting themselves as far as who the head coach, I mean, who the GM is going to be. That
Yeah.
was a big, big question mark looming over all of this. If they retain Joe Judge, who are you going to be able to get come in here and be able to work with him? That was the biggest thing.
Yeah. and we're on the same page, man. I think that if you're gonna go out of your way to, go interview these general managers, they're gonna want their guy. Simple as that. And when you look at what Joe Judge is putting out there, not just on the field but off of the field, in his presser, honestly, that's going to turn, in my honest opinion, that's going to turn away a lot of coaches. Now, granted, look, we got 2 first round picks. We do have some talent on this team, and this still is the New York Giants. We're still a hallmark franchise in this league. But in my honest opinion, man, I actually do feel relieved. I can't hold you. I really do, and it's for the same reasons, that Rodney had mentioned. I think that if they were to go higher, his name isn't coming to me at the moment. From Buffalo, he could bring in, the offensive coordinator over there. I mean, I've also had some interest in the Rams offensive coordinator as well, but there's a lot of people, right now that the Giants have reached out to request for interviews. Um, and honestly, I think that right now we have a bright future ahead of us. I think that right now this is the perfect time to do this. These 2 picks coming up, man, are crucial. They are very crucial. I think that whoever is in charge of those picks, man, I mean, you're really determining the future of this Giants football team, man. I mean, I think that these are impactful picks, regardless of which way you approach it, whether you go edge and offensive lineman, double up on the offensive lineman, you trade back, whichever. This is such a crucial draft. And you really had to ask yourself, do you trust Joe Judge, the man who was trying to get Kevin Abrams so that he could keep a job, in charge of those picks? And I think that a lot of people say no to that.
Oh, most definitely. Highlight EZ3 there, the last one.
Yes.
I'll be
I'm not.
honest with
I'm
you.
gonna get back to all of your comments in a sec. Hold on, give me one sec. As long as they don't gut the team, we should be good. I agree with that 100%. I keep saying I don't think that we're as far off as a lot of people think. Um, I'm not even saying you got to do a entire rebuild where you have to draft a quarterback this year. I know a lot of people want to look at Malik Willis, who I actually think is a pretty good prospect, but I'm not taking him in the first 2 rounds personally. Yeah, of course, easy three. Actually, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if any of you guys would like to jump on. You guys are more than welcome to. I'll leave that there. Um, I don't think that we need to gut it out completely, but what I do want to see is the general manager that comes in, bring in his own scouts, bring his own cap guy in here. I wouldn't even mind him bringing in his own medical team if that's possible. And most importantly, let him bring his guy. I mean, I just feel that right now that was probably the best thing for the New York Giants to do. It sucks. I know a lot of people are upset about it. I'm seeing it on the internet right now, but I know a lot of fans are celebrating at the moment, as we probably should. Um, shoot, I hate
I want
John Mara. Hey, man, I hate him too. Hey, what's going on? My fault, Ronnie. I didn't mean to interrupt.
no problem, man. Hey, EZ3. Honestly, and I might disagree with you on as far as gutting the team. They may not do a full, cleaning house, but don't be surprised if the new GM comes in and that new head coach comes in and they're sitting there talking and conversating amongst themselves, and they come to the conclusion that a lot of these guys that's on here they're not going to want to bring back. And the biggest thing you're
True.
going to have to really take into consideration with that is the cap, because you got a lot of we have limited cap room. You got a lot of guys that are free agents, and you have even more guys that are pretty much, well, hey, he wasn't my draft pick. He wasn't here. I didn't bring him in.
Yep.
You know, let's see what we can do, because again, don't be surprised if they don't start getting rid of some of these players. You know, a lot of people like Saquon. A lot of people want him to stay. A lot of people want him to go. I want him to stay. I want DJ to stay. The issue that we're going to have to sit there and see what they're going to do as far as this offseason is concerned is whether or not they decide to keep a lot of these guys or get rid of them and do a complete rebuild, something that they have never done. And if that new GM is deciding, you know what, They're giving me the control. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to literally do this from scratch the way I want it. A lot of those guys that we've come to know and like and love as far as Giants, they're going to be gone. And that's the realization that we may have to come to at some point. But we got to have to wait and see what this new regime does as soon as they come in. We're going to have to,
Absolutely.
we may not be, we may not like it, but the fact is, we're New York Giant fans. We love the New York Giants, and we're going to have to literally just go along with whatever they come in here and do, regardless of whether we like it or not. A lot of those guys, like I said, I've seen a lot of number 26 jerseys. I see a lot of other jerseys.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones, come on now. They're going to do something with this team at some point. We just don't know what they're going to do. And hate it or love it, we're going to have to just support it as Giants fans.
definitely, man. What's going on, Pat? What is going on, NYG31? Thank y'all
Nothing,
for
man.
jumping on the
Nothing,
channel.
man. Nothing, man.
What's
I'm just
going
chilling.
on? Hit.
How's it
I
going, Pat?
could,
All right.
yeah, I couldn't get a word
NYG31.
in over there
What's
on
up?
this
What's up? What's up? What's up?
ministry. Fucking Bobby Murphy
Hey,
just keep talking, but
oh
everybody
shit.
keep trying to tell me the same thing just because I said, hey, look, I'm with it. You want to bring in a whole new regime? If those damn GMs said I can't work with Joe Judge, I told you that he was gonna get fired. I told you he
Hmm.
was gonna get fired. The GM said that, and I believe they did. But
Yep.
now you have to strike hot. I don't
Yep.
want to hear any
Oh yeah.
crap about what I'm saying is asinine. What I'm saying, they better have had a plan if they're firing Joe Judge because these coaches are already getting interviews. So if you
Right.
wind up having to hire somebody like a big enemy or somebody, and then this team goes 1-16, you can talk all that noise if you want to, talking about anything is better than Joe Judge. This
Hmm.
team goes 1-16, I guarantee these fans will be singing a different tune. I don't give a damn what anybody say.
Oh, you're right about that.
And when I ask you, are you going to give this new regime time to do a full rebuild? Everybody's saying yes now because they got what they want. But what if this team goes 2-15 and then 4-13? Are you going to be singing the same tune then? Or are you going to be doing the same thing, putting a little clown paint on people's
They
faces?
probably will, man. They probably will sing the same tune because the same people who want to really get rid of Joe Judge or Dave Gellman, they got what they wish, but it doesn't mean that next year we're gonna be 8-8, 7-8. We probably be 5-10, or maybe we're gonna have 4 wins again.
Yeah. What if they go 3-14 with these
Yeah,
Right.
10 draft
exactly,
picks? What are
exactly,
y'all gonna say if they go 3-14 with these 10 draft picks?
exactly,
I'm not
man,
saying it's gonna
exactly.
happen, but what if it happens? Are you gonna
I don't
be
know.
Are you gonna be patient with the new regime? Because I was patient with any regime,
Listen. I'm gonna be patient regardless because this is this is gonna be a full rebuild anyway.
right? Which this team really needed.
Shit.
Yeah. You know,
And
and continue, MIG.
no, I'm saying like I even though John Mara got rid of Joe Judge, I still hate John Mara because you remember week 4 when we lose these bum Atlanta Falcons? He should have been fired right there. Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge should have been fired right there at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And then start a whole new regime then. I don't know why it has to take so long.
You know something, and look, my this is where I kind of feel on it is how much of it did John Mara actually want to do, or did he let the fans convince him on firing Joe Judge?
He let the fans do it. I
That's
promise you.
what I
Those
really
new
think.
and the new GMs, if they did say that I don't want to work with Joe Judge, it was the right move, regardless of what do you think if he did it because of the fans or not. If those
Yep.
new GMs said they didn't want to work with him, that was the right move. You have to do that.
Yep, you
Well,
have to.
well, you remember what I said on your stream, Pat? I said at some point, if you decide to bring back Joe Judge, now what are you telling those potential GM candidates? You're limiting who you can bring in
Oh
because
yeah.
you're telling them, okay, yeah, come on in, you get full control, but you got to take Joe Judge. Once you
Yep.
put that caveat there, you're
Mhm.
gonna see a lot of GMs aren't gonna want to even deal with that because they're gonna want to. If you're giving me control at right off the bat, you're not even taking off those training wheels for me to be able to go do what I got to do. You're limiting me right off the bat. You're just strangling me right off by telling me I had to keep Joe Judge. And you know that's just the gist of it. In all
I
reality, that's
wonder,
just the
right?
gist of it.
I wonder if John Mary's gonna mail in that new GM's benches like he did with Dave Gettleman and Jerry Reese and all those people. I wonder.
You know,
Because to me,
I'm not too
I
sure.
don't I don't trust John Mara with a bag of apples right now. Like I said, I do not like John Mara at all. He fired Tom Cobb for no damn reason, keep Jerry Reese, and guess what happened? We had to rebuild in '08, in 2018, and then we got to rebuild again because of John Mara, not because
Well,
of Dave Gettleman.
let's just be honest. We never did a rebuild.
Yeah,
We
never
never
did a
did.
rebuild.
Nope.
Hmm.
Never
You
did a
know,
rebuild. Kept trying to win on the rebound with Eli Manning, and that's what really hurt this team.
Oh
So
yeah.
now you get a chance to do a full rebuild. And don't be surprised if they draft a quarterback with the number 5 pick or
Please
the number
don't.
7 pick. I
Please
promise you.
don't. Please
That
don't.
new GM and new head coach is gonna want their own guy. I think Daniel Jones is done.
You
Yeah.
you
I think
you think
Daniel
so?
Jones is gone. Yeah,
You
you
think so?
you got to look at it like this now. They're coming in. It's a new regime. They didn't bring
Right.
anybody in here.
right.
Whoever's here, they
Nobody.
didn't bring in.
Yep.
So you have to. They're going to either look at it from two different perspectives.
But
We take
but
what we have right now.
yeah, but
We build off of that.
why we got to get a quarterback on with a fifth overall pick instead of getting an offensive line first, build through the transfers and then get a quarterback.
Because
That
those
would be the
guys
smart
want
thing.
their guy.
That'll be the smart then.
If these two guys come in and they like a Matt Carroll or they like a Kenny Pickett, they will be
Oh
a New
no.
York Giant. I
No.
promise you that.
No. Please don't. Please no.
I,
Please
I
don't.
I had said earlier, if it's like a Malik Willis or something like that, I'm not minding that later on. But I just feel that you gotta fix this offensive line.
Exactly.
You have
Exactly,
to
man.
fix this
You have
offensive
to.
line. Even if we go 1 year, let's say Jones is gone, I could absolutely see him going to a team like the Saints or a team like the Broncos, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. But let's say he's gone and they go the bridge gap quarterback way and they say, okay, in 2023, we'll take this quarterback in the draft. I wouldn't mind in this draft, they focus on the offensive line, they focus on the other holes. We're going to need a tight end, we're going to need another running back because Saquon is looking like he's gone. Um,
Well,
and I hate
Saquon's
that I
already
just
gone
stated that.
anyway, so
I hate that I just said that, man. I don't want to see him gone, but I know that right now is probably the best time to get rid of him. Um,
The best time to get rid of both of them is right now.
absolutely. And honestly,
yeah.
collect the capital that you can because, like, I mean, I know a lot of people look at the offensive line, rightfully so. A lot of people look at, the QB position, but I just feel that we have, I don't want to say holes, but I want to say we lack depth at other key positions that we have to address. And I just think that whoever we bring in, it is crucial that they knock on these picks. And you make a great point, Pat. Are these fans going to be patient? Are you guys going to be okay with,
I'm gonna tell
let's
you.
say
I'm
they
gonna tell
get
you
full
now.
points?
No, I
I know
promise
they're
Yeah,
you
I'll
going
that.
to
be
knock
all
on
right.
that
I'll
door.
be all
They can
right.
say, they can say
I
all
will
that stuff they
be
say
all right
now.
with
Oh, anything is
being
better than
patient.
Joe Judge. If we go 1-16, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I
and
promise you, you'll be
you
singing a
have
different
to.
tune.
You have to give this coach a chance. You have to because
Yeah, you have
uh,
no choice now.
Hmm.
Because if
exactly
you
a lot
fire
of
another coach in 2 years and
oh
keep the
that'll be bad.
GM, guess what? It's gonna happen again.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's like I think the more as the weeks progress, and I just feel that it really showed the safety of Joe Judge's job. I was saying earlier that before the game, Jay Glazer came out and said he was 50%. Then at the end, he says he's 25%. And then he comes out and says that there's players that are in favor of not bringing him back, next year. Um, and that's when I was like, okay, I don't think he's back. And I wanted to really believe that he was. I'll say it again, in case if we got new people coming in. I wanted Judge to see it through personally. I
Well, I
felt
didn't
that
want the judge to see it through personally, in my opinion, because the way he talked on his press conference, the way he throw his coaching staff under the bus, the way he throw Ron Rivera under the bus last week, with the loss against the Bears. That's all you need to know right there. That he's gone. He's not going to have a job. He could have had a job, but
I mean, I think it.
that post conference comments he made, that was
I mean,
all
it
she
didn't
wrote right
help
there.
him. Let's be real. Those
Exactly.
comments didn't help him. But I'm not gonna also come out here and say that this is all on Joe Judge. No,
Nah,
Mara deserves a lot of blame.
of
Gettleman
course.
deserves a lot of blame. This coaching staff. Excuse me. Not let me not say the coaching staff, but these scouts. They deserve a lot of blame because we've missed on a lot of picks.
Right.
And I think that if we're being fair, he wasn't really dealt a fair hand. You
Right.
know,
No, he wasn't.
but
He wasn't.
uh,
Any coach
it's
would have been dealt a fair hand coming into the situation.
oh no,
So
not at all.
I would have been saying this about any other coach in Joe Judge's position. You never got a fair shake, and if you do hire another head coach, you better be a prominent one because if you hire another no-name coach, the same shit is going to happen again. That's why I'm saying they better have had a plan.
Yep.
Whatever GM they're going to hire, they need to hire him fast because these good head coaches are getting interviews. If you miss
Yep.
out on the Zimmer, you miss out on
Better
a
hire
guy from
GM
the
tomorrow
Dolphins.
though. Better hire GM
You miss
tomorrow.
out on the guy from the Dolphins. You miss out on Jim Harbaugh if he wants to come back to the NFL. Because I promise you, you can go ahead and settle for Brian Daboll if you want to, but the Bills want to get rid of him for a reason.
Yeah, they have a bad running game as well.
And then
And
what's next after those guys? Doug Peterson.
yeah,
Hmm.
you have Doug Peterson. I know some people have brought up Kellen Moore, some which I don't see Jerry Jones
That's the
letting go of
same thing
Kellen
as
Moore.
McAdoo to me. It's the same fucking thing as McAdoo to me. If you hire Kellen Moore, the
Yeah, because
same freaking thing.
when I look at Dallas, it's like if I'm an offensive coordinator and I'm not getting it done with the talent that they have there, I don't think that you should be in the league. You have a top five offensive line, a top three receiving core. I mean, I don't think I know I know some people think he's a backup quarterback. I don't think he's a backup quarterback, but I don't think Dak Prescott is a top five or a top 10 quarterback, but he's a fair quarterback.
He
So I
don't
think
play like a top 10 quarterback anyway. So
yeah, I mean I have him
what's
in
the
like the
point?
top 15, but I just feel that you should succeed with those pieces that they have placed there. So I'm not too fond of the Kellen Moore idea. But you have, like I said, you have some people that have mentioned the offensive coordinator for the Rams, but I don't want someone that I've never heard of. And even with
Right,
Brian Dable, I mean, do y'all remember Ben McAdoo? Do y'all remember Shermer? Who these were supposed to be, QB gurus. They were supposed to be,
right.
masterminds with the offense, and they weren't good head coaches.
No, they
I,
was
I
not.
just I want someone that has the experience of being a head coach.
Like a Jim Harbaugh. Like a Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, but how much? I mean, actually, let me not say how much is it going to cost because these are billionaires. They can afford it. Rightfully, they can afford it.
Yeah,
And
but I
I,
want
I, I could be
but
wrong, but I
but
think they can
John
afford it.
Harbaugh is an
But
experienced head coach. He took the 49ers to the Super Bowl after we
I
went to
would
the
if
Super
he's
Bowl last
there,
year.
if he is available and you are able to bring him in this organization, I think that you do that.
No,
Will
we
we?
need him
I
here.
I don't know.
Because if I really want to keep Daniel Jones with on the Giants, I will bring John Harbaugh here because he's very good with quarterbacks too.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely bring in Flores if we could.
Oh,
I
Florida
really
would be
do
a
think
nice
that.
choice too.
I would not be upset with Brian Flores. I mean, look, I know because I was having this discussion yesterday. I wouldn't mind hiring Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator.
Nah. Oh
Not at
yeah,
all.
defensive corner, yeah, but
Not a
head
head
coach,
coach,
nah.
but if I'm able to get a Harbaugh
So
or let's say they were go get a Brian Dable, I don't want just these buddy coaches that we have with Joe Judge where he's just hiring people that he's had with in the past. I want people that are at the best at their position for what they do. Because right now, man, what we've been doing hasn't been working. So I mean, it's gonna take a lot. What's going on, Deception? How you doing, my man?
As far as the GM and the head coach, I'm kind of leaning towards the guy from Buffalo, Joe Shane,
Joe Shane,
and
right?
yeah, and
Hmm.
the other guy from what is it, Kansas City, Kevin
Yeah,
Poles.
polls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two right there.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I
Hey
want to
guys,
do
I'll be
more
right back.
research. Yeah,
I'll be
no
right back,
problem,
guys.
Pat. No problem. I want to do a little more research as to some people out there. I think that it can be hard sometimes to look at general managers and tell you and really come down to uh, what decisions did they make. What organizations were they part of? How much in hand did they have with some of it? But I think that when you look at in terms of general managers, there are a few that come to mind. You guys named some, Joe Schoen, um, Ryan Poles, you guys just named. I know that some people have named the 49ers assistant general manager. I think it's Adam Peters. I don't think that that would be a bad option either. San Francisco, they deal with injuries and overcome it year in and year out. They find talent in the later rounds, which we lack. And I think that that wouldn't be a bad decision to make right there either.
Right.
Um, but I mean, it's gonna really depend. I know that we've put. I'm counting right now: two, four, six. We've put nine requests out there for general managers, and then we're gonna see obviously with the head coaches. But do you guys to really answer? Because I've been kind of going past this. Do you guys have any thoughts as to who you would want personally in this building, whether that's at head coach or general manager or both? I know that we're kind of talking about it now, but is there someone that if you had, the opportunity to bring in, is there a
You
person that you would bring in?
know, yeah, I know he just got fired from the Dolphins, but I think Flores would actually be a pretty good fit here with the Giants. To be honest with you, I,
Yep, I'm there
I
with you.
but there was a quote that came out earlier today that I know Bill Parcells was talking very highly of him and said that he's one of the few men in the league that can actually turn around an organization. And I wouldn't be surprised if Parcells and Mara have been talking. And I think that's why Judge wasn't fired immediately. And once the news that Flores was let go, I think that's what caused them to make the decision to move on from Judge, try to make a move on Flores.
I think that was a big
Yeah.
surprise for a lot of people because nobody thought
Oh yeah.
Flores
It
was going to get
wasn't
fired. I
really a
mean,
surprise for me because I knew Joe Judge would have gonna get fired either way. Even with a new GM on board, he would have got fired anyway. So I'm not surprised.
I mean, I was very shocked. I can't hold you that Brian Flores got fired. I didn't think that he was the issue over there whatsoever. And I think that if there is a coach out there, if Harbaugh isn't there, but if there is a coach out there that could turn a franchise around, I think that it is Brian Flores. I really do think that. I think that if you
Hmm.
can get Brian Flores,
Candidates, he'd probably be near, at the top of my list for sure.
well, he's going to be at the top of a lot of people's list. I know he's has an interview with the Bears, so right now he is literally a hot commodity as far as head coaches because look what he did in Miami. They won
yeah,
what 5 games his first season, which nobody thought they were going to win any. Second season there, he won 10 games, and I think they made the playoffs. And then this year, you lose what 7 straight, and then you won your last 8 of 9. I
which is
mean,
impressive.
it very impressive with what they had going on there. So my thing is, at this point in time, this junction right now, we have the ability to be able to get who we want in here to see what they can do. And it's a New York Giants. This area where we're at as far as the teams who we have, and I mean just think about just the media and the money itself. That's a big draw for anybody. Plus we're a story franchise. Who wouldn't want to come and work here and try to turn this around, for the benefit of, for everybody. So I mean, as of right now, like I said, Joe Shane and Kevin Poles is top for me. I would even say maybe a Scott Pioli. But as far as head coaches, Brian Flores is top, and I'll be honest with you, and I know I shouldn't even be saying it, but the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Yes.
I definitely didn't see that coming. I personally wouldn't go the Dan Quinn route. I mean, you can make the argument it's the Atlanta Falcons. They don't even right now with Arthur Smith. They look okay. They don't look too good. Um, but I think that he's found his spot over there in Dallas. But I could see it. Um, me personally, like I said, I wouldn't mind the Rams offensive coordinator. I wouldn't mind Brian Dable. Flores right now is at the top of my list. I think that Flores would do great in this organization. I think that Flores would bring some, not only just strong leadership, but I think that he would bring direction to this team. Now, granted, obviously, they were 1-7 this year before their streak last year, kind of the same thing. But they fight hard, man. They fight hard. They play for him. I know that there was some
Hmm.
controversy with him, but
There was
honestly, man,
controversy with the front office of the Miami Dolphins that would led to its firing. I heard.
what is up, G Nation? What is up, man? What's going on, Jeff? Nice to have you in. Thank you guys for everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate everyone coming through, man. We're gonna get some more people on here as time goes on. The link is in the chat. So if you guys want to jump in, I'm gonna highlight it. Y'all can jump in.
I think
But
the thing with Flores is the issues concerning the quarterback with the front office because of who he really wanted in
Who
the
you wanted
beginning.
though?
He really wanted either Herbert or Deshaun
Watson.
Watson.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard they trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. But I don't know what is wrong. What is wrong with Tua? Because I mean, Tua is not the superstar quarterback, but he's an average quarterback that could give you some wins here and there. You know, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
how you do not like Tua? That makes no sense.
I
But they have to
mean,
look at. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. Go
oh no,
ahead, Smooth.
I was just gonna say, I mean, obviously there's things in that organization that they weren't on the same page. But I think that if you're asking me, man, I don't think that he was the issue whatsoever.
No,
I think that they
he's
would have been
not.
better off with Justin Herbert. I think they would have been better off with Deshaun Watson. And I
Who
think that really,
really?
I think ownership and management leaked out that Deshaun Watson was very interested to coming to Miami. And I think that, Flores didn't want that. He doesn't
No.
seem like a guy that wants his business out there. He seems like a very, close to the vest kind of a guy. And I think that there was a lot of butting heads in that organization. And,
Yeah.
I know that they've had the same, I want to say it's the president, or since he's been a
No, it's the
majority
owner.
owner.
I
Yeah,
think it's
since
the
he's,
owner. I think it's the owner in Miami that's causing all that problem because I heard that Miami owner is worse too. He's probably the second worst behind John Mara in the NFL. So, you know,
but you know something? It's like, even with how many losses we've had, and even with how we've been playing, I still don't see us in the same category as the Jets, the Lions, the Jaguars. I don't see that.
nah.
And I will keep putting this out there until I am blue. I don't care what no one says. I don't think that we're that far off. I think you go secure this offensive line if it is possible. And I know not a lot of people want to do this, and I get it. But if it's possible, go get you Russell Wilson. Go get him.
Nah, I won't get Russell Wilson. I won't get a stopgap quarterback. We already have a stopgap quarterback, Daniel
I don't think
Jones.
that Wilson's a stopgap quarterback at all. I mean, right now he's playing through an injury that realistically he shouldn't be playing right now. I mean, obviously the
Yeah.
season's done,
But
but
then if we get Russell Wilson and then he gets injured again, what now? You know what I'm saying?
well, the thing is, and when we look at their offensive line, right? Their offensive line is bad,
I
right?
know.
Our
I
offensive
know.
line is bad too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Dwayne Brown has given up 9 sacks on his own this year at left tackle, while Andrew
Mm-hmm.
Thomas has only given up two. And we know as Giants fans how life was before Andrew Thomas. It didn't matter who you put back there. And Russell, granted, I mean, he's running around almost every play,
Yeah.
because he has somebody back there. So the way that I'm thinking is you already have your left tackle solidified. If you could give up your seventh pick and next year's first, because I'm sorry, I still don't feel that there's a QB in that draft that could even hold Russell Wilson's football. But if you could trade away those two picks and still keep your fifth overall pick, and let's say a Neal is there or a Linderbaum is there, you take that quarter. You telling me that Russell Wilson can't succeed behind that?
I mean,
'Cause-
he could concede behind that, but you know, he played with a reckless abandon too. So you have to be careful with that too if you're
You,
gonna really pick him up.
I mean, the thing with Seattle is, I mean, and you can ask any Seahawks fan, is that their offense, just like ours, is like it's not up to date.
No,
It's
it's not.
Pete Carroll is so out of touch. It's ridiculous,
But
and I
what
think
is he
that
still the coach over there, Pete Carroll?
yeah, as of right now, yes, he is.
Oh
And I
man.
expect him to be back next year, but I don't expect Russell Wilson to be back. I think that if you could, like I said, if you could trade that seventh pick, right, which has a lot of value, that's a high first round pick, right, and the Seahawks are going to be very desperate to get rid of Russell Wilson. So
Mm.
if you can trade that seven, next year's first, right? Even if you have that fifth and you trade that back a little bit and still pick up an offensive lineman and collect more capital, I mean, you can't. Russell Wilson alone wins you games, right? Obviously, right
Mm.
now it's different in Seattle, but they got their own issues at the moment. I'm not saying that that's what we have to do. I'm just saying if it's available, you got to look into it because
I
look,
hope that doesn't happen though. I hope we keep our draft capital because we have a lot of holes. You know, we can't just make that risky trade like that and then not fill in the holes
oh,
in lay
absolutely.
on drafts. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm
We
there
need a
with you.
tight end. We need a punter. We definitely need another safety, a strong safety. 'Cause you know, drill peppers may not even come back. You
No, and
know
you're absolutely right. And we do have look, we're missing depth at a lot of key pieces to this
exactly.
team. You know, and I completely get that. Prior to Judge being fired, I wouldn't have minded, if Jones was here and you go and get yourself a serviceable backup quarterback that could actually put a flame under this kid's ass.
Oh yeah,
But now with Joe Judge gone, I think that we can really concede that Jones will not be back. Most of these players will not be back next year. And that's not necessarily, the worst thing in the world either.
oh
I think
yeah.
that there's some of these players that need fresh starts. We're going to be able to get some, excuse me, some salaries off of the books, such as, James Bradbury,
I
potentially
think we
Kyle
should trade.
Rudolph.
Also we should trade Kenny Galladay, man.
It wouldn't be smart just because of his cap hit that he would have next
Oh
year.
yeah, the cap hit.
Yeah, I'll give
And
you my take
Thanks,
on that real
Dave
quick.
Gettleman, for that.
I'll give you my take on the Russell Wilson and everything else. Now, this is only going off of what in my opinion, what could happen or should happen, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't trade for Russell Wilson. And the reason why is twofold. One, if you trade for Russell Wilson, one, you're going to give up a lot of draft capital,
Right.
and also you have to be able to pay this guy's salary, which we
mhm.
don't have the money for.
No.
Two, if you bring in Wilson, you're telling the fan base we're ready to win now. And in this situation right now with new GM coming in, a new head coach, I don't think that's the wisest choice to go and get a Russell Wilson. Those guys are looking at a clean slate. What can we do with what we have? What can we build on? What are from this point forward? It would be the smart thing to go out there. Either you stick with Daniel Jones, you fix this offensive line, which it needs to start with. You bring in a worthwhile QB number two that can compete with DJ. And if DJ doesn't work out, at least you have some of the building blocks that's there to do what is necessary. 10 draft picks you can do a lot. And my scenario, I'm trading back one of those picks so I can
I'm
pick
trading
up
back
some
the
extra
seven
draft
pick.
capital.
The
I
pick I would trade back is a seven pick. I would trade it all
Yep.
the way down and still get my man Tyler Linderbaum. Or if it's not Charles Cross, I'll get two offensive tackles.
I think
Period.
that Linderbaum definitely goes top 10. So I feel like if you want Linderbaum, you might have to stay in the top 10. But
Oh
if you're gonna
yeah.
trade, but you could trade with the team like Denver, who I believe is at like 9. You could trade with the team like Atlanta, who's at 8. Excuse me, the Washington is at 8. I apologize, and Denver's at 10. So I would want to stay in the top 10 if I'm gonna try to get Linderbaum. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, and this is honestly, this is a very good comment right here. Uh, The Giants have become more desirable now because of the draft picks, the talent on the roster, and the opportunity to turn around in New York. We all know, everybody on this panel, everybody in the chat, we all know that if you win in New York, you are royalty. I mean, Eli Manning, he could get a drink, food, maybe even a house in New York for damn near nothing because of what he's done for New York City.
Yep.
So I think that, even if, people that are outside of the New York Giants see this as a low class organization, that we're with the Jags, we're with the Jets, which I disagree 100%. But if they see it that way, this is still a staple franchise. You win in New York, you're big time. It's not the same as you winning for a team like the Browns, or a team like the Dolphins, or a team like Jacksonville.
Yeah,
No,
but
if
the
you win in
Dolphins
New
are a
York,
football
that's big.
town. But the
I mean,
Dolphins are a
look,
football town too. So
they're a football town. Look, I lived 10 minutes away from the Hard Rock Stadium for about 9 years.
how? Oh,
But
9 years. Wow.
about 9 years.
So
And
where you
look,
used to
the
live
fans
before that?
here. What?
Where you used to live before that? Brooklyn, right?
Yes. And then I moved
Okay.
to Florida.
All right.
But I like I said, you win with the New York Giants, man. You win in New York, you're big time, man. And I think that that's what we need right now. We need someone that's established. We need someone that is known, in my honest opinion, for turning franchises around. I
Yep.
think
Like
that's what
Jim,
we have to do.
Like a Jim Harbaugh. Because I really want Jim Harbaugh here.
I mean, I think that he'd
Because
be perfect here. I just don't know if Mara would do it.
since we may hire what? Oh, who? Joe Shane from the Bills tomorrow or the
Yeah,
next day?
I don't.
Then he could
Well,
definitely
I
get a
don't know
John
if we would
Harbaugh job.
hire them tomorrow. I mean, if we could, that'd be incredible. Because you obviously want to get ahead of the ball. You want to make sure that you can lock in these people now, so that
Exactly.
you can bring in the scouts, you can
Exactly.
bring
We
in the
need
coaching
to. We
staff.
need to. It can't linger that long because you know, like a who's that GM from the Bill again? Joe
Joe
Shane.
Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe
If
Shane.
if Joe Shane goes somewhere else, we locked out. And then who GM going to get next? Peters from the 49ers. He'd be okay, but he's not
Yeah,
going to be like a Joe Shane
I mean, they have a lot of guys to
to interview.
yeah, to interview, and they got a lot of guys to choose from. The
Mm.
key is who you can get in here quick enough to be able to go after whatever head coach they need to go after. So
Yeah,
you
I
can
want.
start to
That's why I
get
want
this
Joe Shane real as fast as I can, so we could hire a head coach really fast. We live in a fast city, man. We don't like this slow life kind of thing. I'm not that type of person that will be patient. Find a GM. I want a GM right now because we suffer so much already
and we
with
will,
Dave
man.
Gettleman, Jerry Reese, and Pat Shermer, the idiot Joe Judge, all these people.
And what's
well
going
the
on,
key.
Ash? Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, what's going
Yo,
on,
what's
Ash?
going on? Listen, man, it's
How
a
you
cold day
feeling?
in hell. I'm
Damn.
not gonna lie. It's like, nah. It's like, nah. What's going
No, no,
on,
it is a
bro?
cold day. It is a very cold day. Come on now, if you live up in the Northeast, it's a very cold day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm down. I'm in North Carolina. It's cold as hell. So I don't
How
know.
cold?
Well, here it's like 30. It's like 30, 40 degrees right now.
Yeah, you
That
don't
ain't
want that.
bad,
Yeah, that
man.
ain't
Yeah.
nothing compared to up here right now, man. I think
Up
the high
here,
today was
up
like
here in PA,
18.
it's like 19 degrees up here, man.
Oh
y'all
damn.
gonna hate,
Exactly.
y'all
I'll
gonna hate
take
me,
the.
but it's 85 degrees outside where I live.
You
I
can get off
Oh
the
know.
hell.
chat now, Hit Squad. You can get off the
Oh
chat
you.
now, man.
Yeah, it was
Oh
hot as hell outside today. I don't know. I need to be what y'all are on, man. It's hot as hell outside, man. But
nah,
before we
but
continue, oh yeah, I was
oh,
gonna
go ahead, bro.
ask, Ash, what are your thoughts, man? Because I know I was in the chats, for Mrs. Stream, but I really want to hear your thoughts, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah,
Miz's stream. I did my second episode of my sports show. If any of y'all want to go check that out.
yes, sir.
But yeah, I was kind of give on my stream. I was kind of giving it. I was saying if you're keeping Joe Judge, you need to at least talk with your general managers and see if they want to keep Judge. And you need to give a call, at least a call to Jim Harbaugh Brian Flores is available as well. You need to give a call to them. But with that being said, and I was saying that turns out to be true. I was on Midstream, and actually the news broke out live on Midstream while we was on there. Me, Adam, Adam
That's
was
crazy.
back flipping for joy. But my thing with Judge, and I'm not gonna lie, I never disliked Judge, even though I know I never disliked Judge, but I feel like he, excuse my language, but he fucked himself over with
Mhm.
that press conference.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's what I
that
was
11-minute
saying.
and listen, if he would have kept his mouth shut, and if he would have went through that press conference the same way he did all season, he probably still would have had a job right now. Let's
Oh
keep it
yeah,
100. He still
hundred
would have had a
percent.
job, but he screwed himself over with that. He looked worried, like he looked like he knew his job was in he didn't have faith in his job security. And I feel like now it took so long. Well, it looked like it was going to take so long because I felt like John Mara didn't have the balls to look him in the eye and fire him himself. I felt, and we actually saw some reports that, or I saw some leaks that the Giants with John Mara, Steve Chiss, they talked to Joe Shane for a couple of weeks now. And what I
Hmm.
think is they
I heard
talked to
about
some of
that.
these general manager candidates, and they found out that none of them want anything to do with Judge, so they just had to let him go at this point. Um,
Well, that's a
and
good move right there. Now we could,
yeah,
now we could hire Joe Chain as fast as we can, like tomorrow or the next day,
and I've been saying this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
and then you could bring in a John Harbaugh if you want the following week. You know what I'm saying? We could get a fast on this rebuild because I don't want. I'm tired just waiting and waiting and waiting
Yeah,
and waiting. When we gonna really rebuild? The
and
rebuild
I'm
starts
saying
now.
this. I've been saying this for a while. A lot of people felt like like we should have kept him, or like next year could have been a year to do this. But I've been wanting to say that this year should have been a year that you start over. You fire the general manager, you fire Joe Judge because you have 10 picks this year, right? So let's say
Hmm.
if we have Joe Judge and Judge, you know, picks 10 players for his philosophy and what he wants to do. Then he falls flat on his face. Then you bring in a new coach who has a different philosophy, and he's not going to know what to do with 10 random players on his team that doesn't really fit his scheme or his philosophy. So I felt like this year was the year to wipe it clean, to just fire Judge. Judge, he had a lot of potential, I'm not going to lie, but he just came into a wrong position at the wrong time with this team. We didn't need somebody like Judge to begin with. We needed somebody that could really turn this around, um, and really didn't need like a lot of years to do. Now, in terms of the future, I would say I feel like, and I've heard it on, I've heard it that Bill Parcells, he's looking to have like he's been in talks with Mara, not in a role of coming back to the organization, but kind of giving his insight because I mean he's been the best coach the Giants John Mara's ever had. But I've heard Bill Parcells once he's worked with Joe Shane in Miami, and then he was on a show a while back and or like recently, and he was saying that he loves Brian Flores. So maybe I mean we haven't had a black coach ever, but
Yeah. Yeah.
if John Mara says like he said he is, he's letting the general manager do whatever. I mean, look for a Joe Shane and Brian Flores duo, I'd say,
Brian
or
Flores duo, right?
like no, like
What
Joe
about
Shane and then
what about
Brian
a
Flores as the
Jim
head coach.
Harbaugh and a Jones Shane duo? How would you like that duo?
Well, on that, I feel like Jim Harbaugh is going to want to have management. So I feel like we wouldn't. Jim Harbaugh, for him to come back to the NFL, he's not going to just be a coach. You're first of all going to have to give him a lot of money. You're going to
Yeah.
have to let him run his decisions. So Jim Harbaugh is basically going to be the GM. So
Oh,
basically you're going to have somebody like how Joe Judge wanted to do with Kevin Abrams. You're going to have a guy like Kevin Abrams as GM. Not technically him, but you're going to have a guy like in that position of Kevin Abrams just to do like the financial cap stuff, and Jim Harbaugh make all the decisions. Um, and I don't think Joe Shane is that guy. I feel like Joe Shane is going to want to do stuff his like want to have to run it. But I would love Jim Harbaugh as well. I just feel like if
Yeah.
we bring in Joe Shane, I feel like the best option to go would
Is
obviously
Brian
be
Flores, right?
yeah, it would obviously be Brian Flores.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm there with y'all too. Do I think that Mara would do it? I can't tell you. I don't know. I really don't. And you made it. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, man, but it's like it's the truth. We've never had a black head coach. We've never had a black head, started quarterback. And I don't count Geno Smith because he started for one game.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't see it happening. I would be shocked, but I think that Flores would be the best if not the best, one of the best options because
Yep.
if you could turn around the Dolphins in a division where the Patriots dominated for 20 years, the Bills are right now, the favorites. It seems like last year they were, the year prior, and you're able to beat the Patriots twice. You're able to get your team on a winning streak, fight for you consistently until the end. I mean, that's what I want in a coach. And I know that
yeah,
Joe Judge preached that his players fought, but you didn't win. You didn't win at all. I mean, at least, and this is my biggest gripe is that teams that are supposedly worse than we are with worse records, they're
play better than
scoring
us.
points. Yeah, they're scoring points. They're finding ways to win. They're being competitive, and I mean, you go for a QB sneak on 3rd and 9. Are you serious? Like, I mean, when that happened live, I thought we was kneeling the ball. I didn't think that it
Yeah,
was going to be a QB sneak. I thought we was kneeling the ball and punting it, which drove me insane. And then it drove me more insane that it was a quarterback sneak. So,
I
I mean,
I
I'm more
I think
upset that we're losing Patrick Graham, but I trust that we'll be able to get a more than competent enough defensive coordinator in here. Because
I
if you
think
go the
that's
hardball route, I'm trusting him with the defense. If you're going the Flores route, man, I'm trusting him with this defense. So I mean, Jeff made a great point earlier. This is going to be a fun off season, and it definitely makes his team more desirable now.
Oh yeah.
I think what contributed to Judge's demise, not only that 11-minute rant, not only just the horrible play from the offense, but those two 3rd and 9 QB sneaks and how it was like literally ripped apart on social media, ESPN,
yeah,
everything. That really probably just put a lot of things in perspective for John Mara because I mean it literally I mean that stuff literally just went viral and
yeah. It made us a
everybody
joke. It made us a joke,
yeah,
more of a joke than we were
Oh, fact.
already.
yeah,
Right. It's crazy.
And
Now, but I
it's
will say
sad.
this. I will say this. I'm because with that QB sneak, I don't give a damn if your running backs aren't getting any room. I mean, we saw it coming. Like Saquon got a couple of plays there. I mean, even then, I mean, you could. There's ways you could. I mean, just if you're gonna do a QB sneak, just run the ball. You weren't in. You weren't on the 1 yard line like you were in Sanford. I mean, in Chicago last week. You were on like the 3 4 yard line, right?
Yeah.
So just run the ball, and then if you had the job security, I mean, just say you could use that as an excuse to why the team is so bad. If you roll out and not 39, if Jake Fromm throws a pass and it gets picked, you can use that as this. Nobody's gonna blame Joe Judge for that. Nobody's
Yep.
gonna blame Joe Judge on a 3rd and 9 where he throw the ball with Jake Fromm and he gets picked off. Nobody is going to blame Judge for Jake Fromm. You're gonna blame the players on that 3rd and 9. If you run the ball with Saquon and he gets tackled for a safety, nobody is gonna blame Joe Judge for that.
Yep.
Nobody. I mean, and if you say you blame Joe Judge for that, then I really don't know what to tell you.
I mean, Joe
But
Judge is too stubborn, so that's why he wants to be so conservative. He act like all hardcore, but he's not.
I said this, man. I said all the Belichickian coaches They want to act. They want to talk like Belichick. They want to act like Belichick. They want to run their teams like Belichick, but they forget the most important thing. You're not Belichick. You're just not. Why do you
Exactly.
think? Why do you think Brian Flores is the only? Why do you think Brian Flores is the only successful? Why do you think he's the only successful coach
What's up, Joe?
Because he
that came
be
from the
himself.
Belichick tree? Because
He be
he doesn't want.
himself.
I'm
That's
not
it.
trying to bring race into this, but he's a black man. You know, he's not going to want to be like Belichick.
Hell no.
I'm not trying to, but I will say this though. I will say this:
What's going on, Adam?
if the Giants hire Joe Shane for their GM, which a lot of people expect, I'm guaranteeing you that we're going to either have Brian Flores as our head coach or Brian Dable.
Yep.
Brian
I'll say
Gable,
that now.
okay.
And then if we bring in Jim Harbaugh, I'm telling y'all, we're not gonna miss Patrick Graham. We're not, because I could guarantee you we're probably gonna have Vic Fangio as our defensive coordinator, because that was his running mate in San Francisco for all his years. So
Yeah.
Might be an elite
I
defense.
I don't know what you guys have spoken about. It's popped on. I didn't know you had a stream, but a report just out from the Herd, who has his own podcast, who spoke to friends inside the Giants organization this evening. There are players that wanted Judge gone. He had a fist fight with the O-line coach in the last 2 days in the locker room.
I heard about
the new
that
O-line
too.
coach, Rob Sale.
Yeah,
I
and
heard about that
he's
too.
he's pissed off a lot of people in the organization and probably plays a role. Also, I said it earlier on my stream, so you guys probably spoke about it. There are whispers that Bill Parcells is behind a lot of. He's been talking to Mara, so he's playing a role in this. You're going to see Bill Parcells guys coming in. Bottom line.
Wow.
Wow.
And I think that would be the greatest thing that ever happened to this franchise right now at this point.
That's big news right there.
How's it going, Miz?
You
What's
can
going on
watch
there,
this.
Joe?
I sent it out to people. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I sent it out to people. You can watch the Herd. It's about 5 minutes long, but he gives some pretty deep information that we haven't heard yet.
Wow.
I see Adam's in the chat. What's going on there, Adam?
Yep, I appreciate everyone. Now that we got this clear. What's up, Joel? What is up, Miz? I appreciate you
What's
guys
up,
coming
guys?
through, guys.
Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Let me get, because I've asked everyone on the channel when Pat was here. I asked his thoughts. Let me just hear your thoughts, man. I mean, the news broke
my
on Miz's
aching
stream.
ass.
This was incredible.
Joe's been on streams all day long.
Oh man,
And
you
I've been seeing it. I just been at work.
people get what they want and they still come at me. How do you like me now? Grow up, Adam. Grow up.
Hey, man.
All right. That's all I'm gonna say, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Why does it have to be personal? I didn't even get on here and say a damn word. Did you come at me already?
Hey,
Wow.
shit.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be like that. Just it should be about what we can do to get better.
I come on here to say what happened. It is what it is. We're going to see what's going to go on. I'm not on here to throw no damn temper tantrum. I'm not going to scream into my phone, act like an idiot like other people. I'm an adult.
I'll be back.
Hey,
What's
Joel.
your thing, YG?
Joel, check this out right here. Brand new.
There you go.
Oh, you
I
boys
still
are
didn't hook it up.
There you go.
Yo, that's incredible, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I just
Hey, that's
come
what I'm
on
trying
here.
to say.
You know, judge is fired. Is what it is. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
what the hell am I said the other day, I ain't got nothing that I can change.
and this is all I ask. And I thought that, Pat hit it on the nail earlier. I mean, at this point, man, whoever comes in, you better give them time. Give them time.
I don't see it happening.
I mean, it might not. I think you're always going to have your fans that, and I think it's with every organization, they want they want to win right now. I mean, New England fans, and I don't have a problem with New England fans. I mean, they had a rebuilding year for 1 year and nearly lost their shit. They got to see what it was like for NFL teams to rebuild, and it's like, I feel like you're always going to have fans that want it right now, but we're not a right now team. I think we're not that far off, but we got some things we got to fix. I just hope that whoever we bring in here, you bring in your own scouts. You bring in your own front office. I don't want Abrams nowhere near this organization. And I know a lot of people mentioned that, he's been here for 20 years. But at the same time, man, I mean, I just feel like within those 20 years, there's a reason why you never got promoted. But I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong with that.
I never sat here and said I know it all. I just gave an opinion. What I'd like to see. That's all I did. That's all I do. That's all I can do.
Now
I got no ties to the front office. I got no ties to other people. I stick with my point and stay with it. I don't flip flop. I don't know. Maybe that's why people hate me.
Crazy. Nobody hates you, Joe. Stop that.
Well,
no one.
I'll tell you what.
Night, Joe. What time you doing the cave night? Just real quick.
9:00. You got Twitter, Miz?
No, I mean I found out that I have a Twitter last night. I didn't even know she opened one.
Okay,
I ain't jumping on it so fast.
I got to get you the link somehow. I asked
learn how to use it.
I asked Lou to try to get you the link because he can get you the link. I just don't know how to get you the link. That's all.
You're doing it on there? You're doing it on there?
On what?
You're doing the tonight's on there, or it'll be on YouTube?
I'll be on YouTube, but trying to get I send the link to everybody private message through Twitter.
Yeah, Lou sent it to me, but it just pops up. It'll pop up because it'll pop up.
All right, I'm hoping.
I mean, go ahead, Joe. You get to talk.
Look, man, we all explained our passion and what we thought. All right. Yeah. If we all agreed on the same shit, it'd be a boring stream. I'm not gonna sit here give an opinion and not stand behind it because then I look like a fraud.
I'll tell you real quick, Joe. I kind of wanted to move on, but you seen the way I went about it. I was quiet about it.
Exactly. I tried to be that. I tried to look at other views, tried to change a little bit, but still got ripped for it. So it is what it is. I'm going to give my view. And if
reason people to rip people, there's no reason.
Hey, you know what? All I did is, like I said, I just sat here and already, whatever, this is what it is. Judge is gone. Okay. People got their wish. We're going to see what happens when they go forward. Getting rid of Judge changes this whole draft around. This whole draft scenario now changes. New GM, new coach. Are we going to go quarterback, wide receiver in the first round? Are we going to go corner, safety, quarterback in the first round? Look, this is all possibilities, right?
Joe, when you get off real quick, then you continue. When you get off, I'm going to send you the Herd podcast. I want you to watch it. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes.
Right. Look, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Talked in the organization. The organization spoke about one thing, that they have the worst O-line in the league. That's coming from the organization.
I get it. But, the defense is going to change. The whole coaching staff's going to change. And now I've already seen that there's scouts that are disappearing. All right, scouts are getting let go. So
sweet.
Expect a lot more. Now, I think I said I wanted to hear from Tish. I think we finally heard from Tish with everything that's going on right now. I think this is Tish's decision more than it is Mara.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, but how long is this going to last is my question. Because we've seen Mara try to do this before. That's my biggest question right now going in. Because we all know when a man has power, you can't he don't want to give it up freely.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying I'm not sure how much of it Mara actually wanted to do and how much of it was him just listening to the fans again.
Right there.
I think it was Tish. I think it was Tish, and I know Ms. You and me, we called Tish what do we call him? We called him something.
Call him a guy that whispers from the other side of the country. He
Yeah,
really doesn't
so
have any role in this organization at all, except for that he has a small percentage of ownership. He has no say at all. Mara doesn't give a shit what the guy says.
And I'm not saying I called this, but quarterback is definitely in play this year. Definitely in play.
This is a message from Jay Glazer, real quick, Ash. Then you go on. The locker room was reported to be very unhappy with this coach and coaching staff. So it's in the locker room that things went bad and that they stopped playing a while ago.
I can believe it. I mean, we didn't even look like we were on the same page. Why is it that we got to expect us to burn our timeouts when we don't need to burn our timeouts because our offense can't figure out what they're doing on the field? Or, we're not sure if we're going to punt the ball or if we're going to go for it on fourth down just to punt the ball. I would not be shocked. I personally thought that if he did get fired, we're going to start hearing a lot of these stories of what was going on in the locker room. I wouldn't be shocked if more news came out about what happened between the Jason Garrett firing. Maybe
there is more news here, Hits Guy. If you want it real quick, there's
what's the news?
Ryan Dunleavy, the players, the coaching staff on this team was walking on eggshells with Joe Judge.
I saw that.
You scared of him, and with Garrett, there was a lot of tension. Like Garrett wanted to just kill the guy. I think Garrett was relieved and very happy to run away from this. My personal.
I feel like Garrett wanted the head coach's job. Not gonna lie.
Maybe
I said that as soon as Jason Garrett got hired. I said this is gonna be something where if Joe Judge falls flat on his face, Jason Garrett might be our next head coach. Thankfully, it didn't turn out that way. But I'm gonna say this though about technical quarterback. If Joe Shane brings over a Brian Dable, I feel like he might look at Malik Willis as somebody similar to Josh Allen and how to develop him. Being
Why?
that with Josh,
I'm just curious. I see you guys constantly throwing Schoen's name out. What is it about him from the other candidates, Ash?
Well, I'm not saying that he's my number one guy. I'm not saying he's my number one guy.
He's my number one guy.
He looks, based on what we're hearing, he looks like the number one guy for me. To me, that's what I'm hearing. My number one guy would be Ed Dodds, but I don't think we put in a request to interview him. I feel like if we get Ed Dodds, he looks like a dude that will come in this bitch and turn this bitch upside down. That's just me. And
I'm gonna make a prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong. I have no grounds for this. I'm going to make a prediction. The Giants are going to interview a bunch of guys here in the next week. Guess what? They're going to hire the first guy tomorrow, but they're not going to hire him tomorrow. They're going to wait till they do their due diligence because the league wants you to do it. Joe Show is going to be the GM of the Giants because he's connected to Bill Parcells. And I believe the whispers that are out there, I believe Parcells is talking to Mara and is pulling some strings right now.
Oh, and really, Chris?
The guy from Miami is also a big candidate for the head coach.
Yeah, I don't.
And he's a Parcells connected guy.
Yeah,
Chris just said they're interviewing the guy that I want from the Ravens.
Yeah, he's gonna have an interview.
Listen, anybody they hire. Oh, go ahead, Hit Squad. My fault.
Oh no, I was just gonna give. I was gonna read a little list, but no, get what you got to say. What you got to say, man. Do you think?
I was just saying that. I believe that anybody we bring in here is going to be better than, from what we're hearing, could be better at this point than what we've had. To be honest, that's just right. Whether it's Joe Shane, whether it's Ryan Poles, whether it's the dude from the Ravens, whether it's like I said, I would love for it to be Ed Dodds, but I don't know. I feel like John Mara. I feel like Ed Dodds scares John Mara.
Not gonna lie, the only thing I'm looking forward to is I want more information on the injuries this year, and I want to know more about DJ's neck. I want to know what the fiasco was with all that shit going down. That's the most the most information I'm looking forward to reading.
Yeah, Do you think? Now, let me ask you this, Joel. Do you think Joe Judge would have something to do with his neck?
I don't know. Like I said,
do you think it's a possibility?
Nah, he got hurt. That's all.
I said it from the beginning, Ash. Goddamn, Jason Garrett was running DJ and RPOs, and we did not want him to do that.
Yeah.
And that's how he got hurt. I get it. He needs to learn how to slide, but if the kid doesn't want to slide, don't run him that way.
Yeah.
I wanted to see an offense this year where we're not doing RPOs. I want to see bootlegs. I want to see play action. I want to see that type of offense because that's just as effective. And if he doesn't have anywhere to throw it, run it. If he doesn't have anywhere to run it, throw it. Throw it out of bounds. It's a safe play, right? When you run a bootleg.
No, you're right. Like you said at the bottom, Jaden. I said that a while ago in my videos. You run this guy like you think he's Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on now.
Oh, Chris is right. If we do get the Ravens guy, Wink Martindale might come here.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Look, man, I tell you what, man. There's a lot of big names right now, which is also plays a role in why they definitely had to get rid of Judge. It was time to move on. There are big names out there, and anybody who tells you that they're not interested in being in the Giants organization on crack. Bottom
like
line.
I said, to me, a big name right now, Miz, though, is Jim Caldwell. It is Lovie Smith. It is
He's
Jim
all big
Harbaugh.
names. Yeah.
Wink Martindale's not a big name because he's not a head coach. He's never been a head coach.
Flores is a big name too, man.
Flores is,
I feel
a
like
big
Flores
name.
is going to be.
And I made the
you
point
guys
in the
think?
stream when Ash had left already in my stream earlier that I think Ash would have probably connected to. Flores, man. Born in Brooklyn, right? Definitely comes from a connection to Parcells somewhere down the line. Here's the thing. Giants have never had an African-American head coach in their history. That can play a role. The Giants are doing some things today that they usually haven't done in their history. Something different. So
I was
think
just saying.
plays a
I was
role.
saying that. Yeah, I mean, they might look to just turn this thing in a whole new direction, a whole new modern direction, and maybe they feel like it's time for change. I mean, like I said, like we said, we all know the Giants have never had a black head coach. But
Or QB.
would I be upset if we bring in Brian Flores? Hell to the no. I'd be jumping up and down.
Like I said, let me ask you this: what's the timeline for this guy?
He needs time. They have to give this man time.
Whoever comes in, what's his timeline?
Oh, well, with a new GM and him together,
say 3 years.
More.
I'd say
4
3 years.
Got to be 4 years at least. Got to be 4 years.
3-4 years.
As of right now,
you're starting over. You're building a foundation to the future. These are proven guys too. You're not getting nobodies.
Oh.
I was going to say the same
I'm
thing,
not going to lie. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just going to say this is going to take a minimum of halfway into the third year.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I'll make a case, Joe. I'll make a case. Call me crazy. I make a case that if you put together an O-line and get a defensive end with some of the talent we have here and the garbage schedule we have ahead of us next year, the Giants could win 9 games, man.
But
they could, and
absolutely could.
I'm not gonna lie though. With Brian Flores, literally the only reason I can see that he was fired was that management, ownership, and him had a rift between keeping Tua and trading for Deshaun. That's the only thing. The only thing. Because there's no way you could start off, and maybe it was the 1-7 start, but he then won his next 7 games. So, I mean, I don't see why they would fire him. And this is if that's not God, then I don't know what is, because that is a perfect, that scenario is just perfect for me. It's just perfect.
Yeah, and I think that if you do bring in Brian Flores, I thought Buko said it best, man. If you were to bring Brian Flores in, I think the defense would be very similar. I think that him and Graham run a similar.
Does he keep Graham? Does he keep Graham?
Okay.
I mean, he knows him, right?
let me throw this at you because you just got one New England coach. You're going to get rid of another that doesn't have a winning record.
Well, I'll say this about the New England coach. I said this. I said this before. With these New England coaches, and a lot of these dudes, they want to talk like Belichick, and they want to act like Belichick. They want to run their teams like Belichick, but they forget that they aren't Belichick. Brian Flores, I mean, Vrabel wasn't he played under Belichick, but he's not a Belichickian. Like he never coached under Belichick.
Yeah, but if
Brian
you play
Flores
under that system, that's where you go though.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't a coach, he played under that system for 9 years. He knows what's involved in it.
Yeah, but Brian Flores, he doesn't give me that same vibe that a dude like Josh McDaniel, a dude like Joe Judge. He doesn't give me When have you heard him
Okay.
like try to really be like that?
I'm not going to lie
I'm
with
not,
you. I have not watched a Miami Dolphins game in probably 5 years. So I have no clue.
Listen, and I think you need to, because he doesn't operate like any of these guys. Even when he's like on the sideline, like he doesn't operate like any of these guys. And that's just stuff you can see. I'm not making this a race thing. I'm not trying to make it a race thing. But why would a black coach want to be like Belichick? I mean, why else do you think that Flores is the most, like, he's been the most successful coach out of all the three in 2 years? I mean, Joe Judge hasn't seen the success that Flores had.
Vrabel's seen way more success than Flores.
Well, like
No,
I said, you can count, but I'm not counting Vrabel as a I'm not putting him on the same page as Josh McDaniel.
I'm just trying to go off of what you guys said when all of this was going down. I'm not trying to come back at you. I'm trying to understand.
Oh no. My thing with Judge, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like he had his third year in the bag. I do. I feel like he ruined it by the press conference, and I get it. A lot of people were mad, and I was one of those people that were upset that he didn't really show a lot of emotion. But if you look at it, he handled the media well, and I'll admit that he handled the media well to me. But if you handle the media and you're like really you're shutting down everything the media throws at you in those after game interviews, and then you come out like that, like just going on a whole rant, it gave me the vibe that he was worried. And we all know it's New York. The media ate him up for it, right? And then these past couple of weeks, it looks like he felt like his job was safe, and he was just doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I feel like one of the, if not probably the biggest, was those quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 9, second and 10 on that. The way that I can't even get my words out. The way that like rippled across New York and across the media, I feel like that probably got to Mara, and he saw that, and I just feel like Mara, he was just, that's when he decided to let the GM come in and let him make it. And then we're hearing all this stuff about inside the locker room the past couple of days, and Judge, with how the locker room was lost, and maybe that was another factor into it. But clearly,
do you feel that he has enough experience, which is why I would rather see Caldwell or Lovie Smith?
Who?
Flores.
Flores? Yeah, I feel like he has enough experience. He's shown me that he is, and maybe you could use the 1-7 start like that, but he's shown me that he is a leader of men. Like he's shown me that. And if you're not going to get a Lovie Smith or a Caldwell, if you're not going to be able to get him, I feel like Flores would be the guy to operate this young team and bring in his own players. That's
because I haven't heard a word about Harbaugh yet either.
No, I mean Harbaugh is a whole nother discussion. If you bring in Harbaugh, you're not going to bring in somebody like Joe Shane. To me, I feel like Harbaugh is going to win a lot in order to come to the NFL. Something that the Raiders will probably give him, like what they did with John Gruden. I feel like Harbaugh is going to have probably part of management, and you're probably going to bring in probably like a scouting guy or something like that, like maybe a Ryan Poles. Joe Shane gives me the vibe that he's going to want to run this, like the whole management aspect himself. He's going to want to do that and probably have to like his coach. That's just the vibe I get.
My worry about that also is I don't know if Schoen's going to bring along one of his Buffalo cronies to be the head coach, because Detroit did it when they got the new GM and brought in Patricia from New England. Yeah. That's exactly how it worked. So there again, would you rather have Schoen in one of the Buffalo guys, or would you rather have the guy from the Ravens and bring in Wink Martindale, an unproven head coach?
I mean, both of them are unproven head coaches in those scenarios.
Yeah.
With Martindale, and then if you bring in like Brian Dable, probably. But I don't know. I kind of do believe what Miz is saying. And I'm not just because I want it to happen, but it seems realistic that probably Parcells is probably giving John Mara his take about Brian Flores. That's just what I'm kind of believing, because
who was it? Montefort that was under Parcells. There was one of the GMs. There's one of the GMs that was under the Belichick tree. Well, in that Belichick coaching staff in New England, I think it was, there's a GM, assistant GM, that has ties to Parcells. So if Parcells
I think that was Shane.
Was it? I don't remember who.
Shane, it might be somebody else, but I know Joe Schoen or Shane, however you say his name. He worked with Parcells in Miami.
No, this was New England.
Oh, okay.
New England or the Jets?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was one of the two.
Yeah, that I'm not too sure on.
Yeah, but
I remember reading it. That's why I said I did it so much I can't keep them straight anymore because we've been talking so many different GMs because Gettleman's gone.
Yeah,
and I can't keep either one straight. I will say this: all the guys I looked at, they're the ones getting the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I'm going to just read off this list real quick of GMs that we have requested to interview. So obviously we have Joe Schoen. We have 49ers assistant general manager Adam Peters, 49ers director of player personnel Ryan Carthen, Chiefs executive director of player personnel Ryan Poles, Titans.
I like him.
Yeah, and I think that would actually be solid because I heard that he actually played a big role in drafting their offensive line this year.
Yes.
And they found some key players in the later draft. So
yes, I like him.
That speaks a lot. They also have Titans director of player personnel Monty Austinfort.
Yep.
Titans VP of player personnel Ryan Cowden. Cardinals VP of pro personnel Adrian Wilson, who I want to do a video on that. Because I think that would actually be a pretty good hire. Cardinals VP of player personnel Quentin Harris, Ravens director of player personnel Joe Hortz. I mean, those are some intriguing names. I mean, I always felt that it's a little hard to judge these GMs just because, or a lot of these people are assistant GMs just because you don't know how, at least to me, how big of a factor they played in, especially with drafting these players. Did the coach have more say?
You can find their resumes online, how long they held the position, and then it's not that hard to figure out who they were under. So you can figure out who they worked under as far as, the GM at the time, if they were in the scouting department, senior scouting department, VP of personnel, yada, yada, yada. It just takes a little bit of research.
Well, here's something that y'all should know. You know who ran Carthon's father is?
Yeah. Maurice Carthon, the famous giant.
Exactly. And I was like, wait a minute. That last name sounds a bit familiar, but I was surprised that his name came up.
It's his boy.
Yep.
Actually, let me this is I'm not even going to say breaking news, but this came out just now. One candidate that is being discussed for the Giants' vacant head coaching job is former Bears coach Matt Nagy. Giants president John Mara likes how he developed Justin Fields and think they could do the same for Daniel Jones. An interview is being set up for this weekend.
Wait.
What?
Did he seriously say
Matt Nagy is what?
Developed? Did he seriously say how he developed?
Hold on, Matt Nagy
Justin Fields
interviewed what?
Yeah.
Interviewed
hey,
what?
this is the chances you guys are taking with the new coach and GM.
I'm not going to read too much into it, but
stop reading into it. It's all bullshit.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm not going to put too much into it, but
guys,
listen to me. You gotta give a certain amount of people interviews required by the NFL league. You understand that?
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah.
I do know the Rooney Rule. Yes, I do. And it went from 1 to 2.
Yeah, so
You know
we're
what I
going to
mean?
see a bunch of people get interviewed, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do hire their guy tomorrow and they just wait a week to announce it. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Who?
Oh no, I'm saying for the general manager, I wouldn't be shocked if they hired their guy tomorrow and just waited a week.
What
Because
were
I feel
they
like that's
interviewing
something
No,
that
Demar
name
would do.
for?
It's one
Right,
of those two
right.
guys. I
The head
think.
coach. The head
The
coach, Ash.
Buffalo guy or the Kansas City guy.
Oh,
What they're
hell no.
doing right now is they're interviewing over what we're doing right now, and they're going to interview, go through the guys that way, and then they're all going to come into the building for a second interview. I saw a list the other day. Saturday at 8:30 at night, they're doing the two guys from Buffalo. Sunday they're doing, I think it's Fort, and then Monday they're doing another guy, and that might be the Cardinals dude. It's something like that, but they're doing virtual meetings for the first interview to get to the base, and then the second interview they're going to bring everybody in house.
Just give Parcells the GM job, okay? Stop playing around. It's time to get serious here. It's time to go back to where we belong. That's it.
I mean, do you guys? I mean,
That's-
if we were to talk about it just quickly, I mean, do y'all think that Parcells would do good in this time with how the league has changed?
No.
No, but he could definitely. I think he is having conversation with Mara, so he could be like some type of an consultant, some type. Why not?
Probably the
Maybe he doesn't
the,
even
the,
want
pres-
the title.
the president of operations or something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
But I think he doesn't even want the title. I think that he's going to help out as a guy who loved the organization quietly on the DL. You know, like something like that. Like right now, I wouldn't be shocked. There's some whispers out there that he is. If you see Parcells guys come here, GM, coach, then you know that he played some type of a role.
Absolutely.
You got a lot of alumni players that are sick of this, man. They're all speaking out, all of them.
We saw Strahan just last week.
Yeah,
It was actually just
further
past.
back than Strahan, Jacobs. You could go further back. Tiki Barber's on WFAN in the mornings now. You got Carl Banks. You got guys out there that are like, this is bad now. You know, like
Strahan's a prick. He let fame get to his head.
Yeah, but he's a big part of the history, and he's yet to say anything bad about the Giants at all, to be honest with you. He finally released his first statement I ever heard him say about the Giants like 3 days ago. It was nothing really major or personal or big. But he expressed some concern like people are.
And I get it. I mean, I didn't want Abrams. I don't think a lot of people wanted Abrams.
I wanted to keep Judge, and I didn't want Abrams.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't feel that it made sense, to keep Kevin Abrams. And when Joe Judge came out today, and he was trying to really speak for Abrams to get a job as the general manager, to me, that kind of told me that he knows that his job is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to pull whatever he can, yeah. And that he was going to he said he was bringing in somebody as his offensive coordinator, right? Who was the big name out there that he wanted to bring in?
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien.
And that's another plea to try to, manipulate ownership into like, let me hang around another year, fix this. I'm going to do, I'm bringing in this guy. And once you start doing all this stuff now, like you're trying to manipulate.
No, but my thing is, it's like, why would you do that? And I'm not saying Bill O'Brien is a bad offensive coordinator or anything, but why would you do that when you just went through having a former head coach as your offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett, and there was some tensions rising there? Like that's just not smart to me.
No, it is, Judge. It is, Ash. It is when you're trying right now. The only thing you have left is I gotta stay here one more year, and that's the way he was thinking.
Yeah, I get it. But just off of Judge's head, like if he did have his job, like do you think Bill O'Brien would still come up? Like, do you think he would really make a push for Bill O'Brien?
Man, you guys were upset with having some guys wanted Bill O'Brien here as the head coach. So
yeah, the head as the head coach, but why would you have Bill O'Brien as your former head coach as your offensive coordinator? And this is not me. This is on Joe Judge's hat. Why would you have a former head coach as your offensive coordinator when you just went through that with Jason Garrett? And you know some of the stuff that brings in.
I want to ask Joel a question.
Joel,
let me ask you a question. What's up, Lou? And throughout this process, I've been really good, and you know me. I've gotten into
you
it
have,
with people,
man.
I've fought with people, and I've found a way to calm down. Like I was telling Ash today, that was a day that I wasn't proud of, and I've changed my way since. And throughout this fan base has been split, taking sides on this. A little more of the fan base wanted to move on, maybe even more than a little, but whatever.
I would say 80-20.
You or Pat, I got respect. I love you guys. I like having streams with everybody. I have not come at anybody. Let me ask you, Joel, if these reports are true, that Judge has pretty much done a lot of damage inside the organization, relationship-wise, and with the players, and he's gotten into fistfights countless times, where do you stand on that? Would you still want this guy back? Like, I just want to, I want to know, let's everybody swallow their egos right now. The same thing I would have went to Adam if it was the other way.
I'm really trying to swallow my ego. I come on here, I was quiet, look, like I said when I started, I can't change anything that's going on with this team. I have no power over anything. All I can do is root for this damn team. And if someone asks me a question, he's giving an opinion. And Miz has given me an opinion. Now, look, I was pounding the table for Judge because information was coming out that Judge wanted Garrett fired, last year. I was pounding the table when the stuff about Gettleman came out to back Judge. I was pounding the table to, with Mara showing the family history, how he likes to manipulate people, manipulate things so that he can get control of who comes in, who comes out. I do still believe all of that stuff. But now what's happened is the guy that I was backing because I didn't know, I didn't have all the information, makes me look like an ass. Because if this stuff is coming out true, but how the hell are we supposed to know? And I've been saying this for a long time. We don't know what goes on inside the facility. We only see on the field. We only see in press meetings, and we only see in reports after the games. That's all we see. So we don't know how the players feel. I'm not the players. I can only go off of those three emotions. What I'm seeing on the field, what I'm seeing in the press, what I'm seeing after the game. And it looked to me like the team was fighting hard this last game. I have to go off of what I see as far as what I think. What other choice do I have? And at the time, that's what I thought. I saw a team where we were an offensive line away, a no bullshit coach. He wasn't sugarcoating it. You guys got pissed off when he ripped Tony for fighting. You know what? Maybe that was the right thing to do. Maybe it wasn't. We'll never know. But what happened, happened. I felt like he was trying to explain at the last press meeting where he went on for 11 and a half minutes, because I'm not the only one that watched that. I showed that to other people. Some people know a little bit about football. Others knew nothing about football, But everybody I showed that speech to kind of understood what he was trying to say. Maybe we're too old school because it was older people. I didn't have a lot of young people. But we're like, you know what? I kind of get the gist of what he's trying to say. And people are laughing at him for trying to do that. So it wasn't just my way of thinking, because they knew nothing about Judge. They knew nothing about the Giants, nothing about the situation. All they did is watch that interview. And then they got their impression off of that interview. I like this draft, Miz. We all like this draft. We thought he was bringing talent onto the team. The last two drafts, I'm sorry, are the best drafts we've had in 5 years. If not more. That's what I was going off of. But if this is true, not only does Judge look like an ass for everything that's coming out with the eggshells and the fighting with the coach and all that, how the hell is anybody supposed to defend that? Like I gave Gettleman 4 years, Miz. You saw me. You and me were one of the few ones like, you know what, Gettleman's doing whatever. You know what? I gave the guy 4 years. He didn't build us an offensive line, didn't do what he was going to say. And I will say that I think that Mara hamstrung him also. I'm never not going to believe that because I know you believe that.
Yeah, I do.
And we're some of the old school. We remember when Gettleman was here as a scout. The guy got us 2 championships. If the guy's on the team, I back him. Just like Daniel Jones. I'm still backing Daniel Jones. He's on the team. I hated Ingram. Do not want him back. I had to back him. He's a player on my team. Joe Judge was the coach. I have to back him. I'm not going to just flip-flop and go off and I'm going to, if I say something, what good is it for me as a YouTuber or a human being to say 1 minute Judge is the guy and then to come on the next day with a rant video because we played piss poor and say we need to fire this guy. And then Wednesday, Thursday, it's like, okay, we're getting ready for game day. I kind of cattled down a little bit. How many times am I going to say that? How many weeks can I do that before people are like, this guy sucks, I'm unsubscribing from him?
Yeah, but Joe, at the same time, sorry to interrupt.
You're fine.
None of us knew all this shit that's coming out after the fact. Hindsight is always 2020. Yes. Everybody on this panel can look back at mistakes they made 10 years ago and say, man, that was stupid now. Yeah. But at the time, it seemed like something really smart to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, on the same token, we were rooting for him because we liked the spunk, the tenacity, the press conference. The guys were fighting for him, and the media was covering and saying, he wanted Garrett gone, and so they were making it look like, hey, he fixed the culture, and all we need is some pieces. They even said that all the Giants need now are some pieces. They got a good coach, they got a good culture. Now they just need some pieces. That was all over the media. So what are we supposed to believe? That we got a good coach, we got a good culture, we just need a few pieces. Now all this shit comes out. He's fighting with people and this and that. How the fuck are we supposed to know?
Right.
Nah, but I will say this though, with the media, like Joel, like you said it though, and a lot of people say it, you gotta really be careful what you believe. But
fake news.
I'm gonna say that I can't choose to believe the stuff about Jason Garrett and then deny to believe, some of the stuff about Joe Judge now. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that is, that this stuff is true. I'm not saying that it's false. But I mean, for him he already had a fight or a tension and a personal disagreement
Colombo.
With his past offensive, with Colombo. So just me thinking as a fan outside the organization, it's leading me to believe that I could believe that of him getting into a fight with Rob Sale just because he did it with, another offensive line coach. And like we've said, Belichick coaches they don't bond well with coordinators. They just don't. I mean, that's what we've seen off of history, off of recent memory with McDaniels and Patricia. And like I said, probably people like, I don't know whether this is true about Brian Flores, whether they're saying that he rubbed people the wrong way. I don't know. I still want to know why they fired him. But Brian Flores and Mike Vrabel, they coach as their own person to me. So with this Joe Judge stuff, am I surprised that I'm hearing this stuff? No. But, I just don't know. You just got to be careful on how you take it. But I mean, he's gone. I feel like he'll just go back to New England. He'll be as a person, he'll be fine. He should just go back to New England.
He'll definitely get another job.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to get another head coaching job.
Well, he's got the gift of gab. He'll get a job.
Yeah.
I don't know about a head coaching job.
He might get another head coaching job because remember he's only 38 years old. So
right. Right.
Yeah, but how he made how he's been, brought up in the media and stuff. I don't know if he'll get another head coaching job.
Well, those teams that are interested in him down the road in a few years when he rebuilds himself back up again, they will reach out to the Giants as a reference.
Especially
Listen, this is the NFL, and we love nothing more than a good comeback story in the NFL.
not only that, if
You
he
know,
goes and becomes a
he comes
defensive
back.
coordinator,
He goes right. He goes, becomes a coordinator somewhere, has a
Yeah.
good run, gets a second chance at coach, and does a better job, changes his ways, learns his mistakes, and that'll be primetime media all over the place.
Shit, maybe he will be the next Bill Belichick. Maybe he's
he
just
might.
looking for-
Belichick got fired after his first job.
Well, yeah, there's not been too many coaches, if any, that their first time out became fucking winners and had sustained success. Most of them get
Right.
fired, go back to a coordinator, and come back years later and have a good run.
Right.
Yeah.
Christ, look at Andy Reid. He was with the Eagles. He was winning games, but couldn't win the big game. Went to his second place in Kansas City. Ta-da! I got a ring.
Yeah, Andy Reid is great.
He is. You think the Eagles fans wouldn't want him back right now with what he's got over there in Kansas City?
Oh man. Hey, you guys pray for me, man.
Uh-oh.
You okay, man?
Yeah, why you think I'm sitting out in my truck right now? I'm trying to keep myself calm.
Oh, I didn't know. You was in the truck. My fault.
Right.
Why? What happened, man?
Nah, same shit. I ain't gonna break up the stream. I'm dealing with,
well,
my wife has mental health issues, and when she gets like this, I'm the target of her hatred. And I have to try to not take it personally because I know it's, you know what I'm saying? But it's like that shit gets old after a while.
Well, call if you need to.
Definitely.
You got my number.
And I'll give you mine for sure. I'll put mine in the private chat for you, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I'm always here. Wake me up at 3 a.m.
Facts. I mean, I will say this much, man.
Just pray for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the best person that can help is the one I'm asking you to call on for me, because I'm calling on him. Seems like every 30 seconds.
I got a couple guardian angels I can send your way.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh shit, I got two of them, my 9 and my 45. But
no, I mean, no, seriously, for real, I have two guardian angels. Dead serious.
The old school guardian angels,
the one from heaven with wings and everything. Yeah, disappear when people walk into a room.
Yeah, I remember them guys in the subway and shit. Yeah.
No, not that. I mean, real guardian angels, like with the wings. Hello, the halo, come down from heaven.
Oh God.
I'm dead serious, dude. I'm dead serious.
I be thinking
you got guardian angels on dispatch. You can just send them where you want.
Yeah, you'll be surprised what I can do with those guys. Listen, I told you.
Shit.
When I got in my head-on car accident, okay, I remember very little. I remember parts of the ambulance ride from the wreck to the hospital. I don't remember anything outside of that. I woke up in ICU and I had two people bedside. I mean, I could have touched them, okay? And you know how in ICU they have the motion lights that'll only come on when the nurse walks in?
Yeah.
It was completely freaking dark in there, but I could see these two people. And they just looked over me and smiled, and I had a feeling of relief just wash over me from head to toe. It was such a relaxing feeling. And all of a sudden, I just knew everything was going to be okay. And that was the feeling I got. And the minute I got that feeling, a nurse walked in because the lights started clicking on. They backed up. The nurse got closer. They went up into the corners of the ceiling and faded into the wall. The nurse come bedside, but I could still see their faces, one in each corner, smiling down on me, bro. I'm dead freaking serious. I am dead
I believe it.
serious.
I can absolutely believe that.
I believe it. I believe. Listen, bro, I can sit here and tell you stories. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. Bro. I was jumped by the NYPD when I was 14. I've been through it. I've been hit by a car. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, bro.
Damn.
So
God damn.
Damn.
But you know,
right now.
I've always, every time I've been in one of the worst situations of my life, I was calm and relaxed.
That's why.
And I felt like somebody had my back, though there was no one there. So I feel what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tonight
Lou
you're
a
gonna have
whole-
pleasant
Lou-
dreams. I'm sending them your way.
Yeah, all that Lou. Yeah, you got some.
What'd you say, Hit Squad?
You got some
What happened?
guardian angels around you, man. Trust and believe.
Yep.
Lou a damn Avenger.
Right.
Oh, that's what I said.
God-
Yeah.
Boy, you
goddamn-
stupid.
He talking about he got hit, shot. What was you
Stab,
fighting?
beat
You
the
fighting
fuck
with
up.
Iron Man and Hulk and shit?
Goddamn Deadpool.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever noticed. That's why I can't grow a beard. Because when I was 14, I put the NYPD on the chase. And they couldn't catch me for like 45 freaking minutes. They were pissed off. Finally, they hit me with the car. When they hit me with the car, it knocked all the wind out of me. I had been running for 30, 45 minutes. And so I got up and I couldn't breathe. So I just put my hands behind my back so they can cuff me. And instead of cuffing me, they were mad that I put them on the chase. So he hit me. Now, this is a grown man. I'm a 14-year-old kid. And I'm already bent over with my back, so with my hands behind my back so they can cuff me. Bro, that motherfucker hit me. I fell. I said, oh, hell nah. I got up and I hit that motherfucker as hard as I could. And I broke his tooth. And I swear in that moment when his tooth broke, everything went slow motion. From the time that his tooth fell out his mouth to the time it hit the floor, every cop on the scene had hit me at least twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers threw me in the middle of the street, twisted my arms up, had their knees in my back, was punching me in my ribs. They pushed my face on the asphalt and scraped it. So I had big ass rug burn on my cheek with gravel in it. So I lifted my head up to try to stop because that shit was hurting. And they turned my head around and did it to the other side. So I had two big ass scabs on my cheeks. So my beard only grows under my chin and under my neck and on my sideburns, but I really can't get nothing because my fucking skin is fucked up there.
Oh, the scar tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people like they just. Well, I'm not saying you, but like there's some people, especially black, teens, they live in fear, especially like today. Seen a lot of young people like their lives be taken, like they live in fear.
Yeah, there was no fucking phone cameras back in the day. Exactly. NYPD used to beat the shit out of everybody, bro.
Yep.
Straight up, the stop and frisk and all that shit. Man, Giuliani had police pulling your nutsack out in the middle of the street.
It's worse now because I'm not. It's kind of worse now because they're getting recorded and posted on social media, and they're still doing it. Still doing
it. Right.
So they really don't give a damn. They really don't give a damn. So but yeah, I gotta go pick my girl up from work. Lou, I am gonna pray with you.
Yes.
And Hit Squad.
Not a problem, man.
And I Hit Squad, thank you for having me on. Joel, I'm glad that this whole, Joe Judge, whatever, we could just get back to just talking Giants. And,
it is, man. I mean, one thing about me, Ash, I am tired of beefing, but you know what? If I say something, I'm not gonna just change my mind. I'm just not like that.
Yeah.
No, you gotta stand by what you say. Yeah,
exactly. So, damn it, subscribe to our channel.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm still screaming 11-6. Shit.
Back on my bullshit.
Y'all are too much.
But yeah, I was never beefing with anybody. I was just stating my opinions. I just want everybody to know that.
Damn it.
I was just stating my opinions. And I think
I didn't argue with nobody over this shit. I'm proud of myself.
We really
all I can say is
the other side.
I'm just gonna hope to hell that everybody gives this guy 4 years. It's not going to be a quick fix. It's going to be 4 years because we're not sure about Barkley. We don't know anything about Daniel Jones. If we have to draft a quarterback this year, I don't like any of them, but that's going to be a setback because we all know teams reach.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't afford to get an experienced quarterback, and the free agent market sucks balls. There is nobody
Yep.
out there, and we cannot afford to give up capital to go after even like a Wentz type player or anything like that. There's nobody. I sure as hell don't want Tua. You know,
Not
I
sure.
don't want
I
You might
sure
Sam
as
be
hell
able to
don't
Darnold.
get
want
like a
Wentz.
I
Jimmy
I
don't
sure
G.
as
want
hell
Cam
don't want
Newton.
Wentz.
But you
I
know
think
what I'm
so. You
saying,
just keep
Rodney.
Daniel Jones for one more year. We stack up the trenches, the O line, the defense, and then next year's draft, if you still want a quarterback because Jones didn't succeed, you go get it done.
It's still that's where I say 3 years for him, so it's a 4-year build. So next year is going to be without the rookie, and then year 2 is going to be with the rookie. You've got to give him 3 years at least. At least.
That's
And
fine.
there cannot be any questions about the old line. There cannot be any questions about he's either going to make it or break it.
Yep.
Get the team together to bring in the guy.
Yep. We have to be patient. We
Gotta do.
absolutely have to
I'm
Because
be
gonna
I
go
do
ahead
patient.
and
feel
tuck my
Judge got a
little
raw
man in.
deal.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna do it right, you gotta do it right this time. And you
Yeah.
gotta do it the exact way it's
You
supposed to
know,
be.
Okay.
I'll hop back on in a second, fellas.
We're
all
actually
right. Yeah, I got to go check dinner.
yeah, I was gonna say we're actually gonna close it out here because I know you got the cave at
Yep.
9. So I know that,
Yep.
and I know you've been doing streams all day, Joe. So we're
No,
gonna have
actually,
2
this is the
hours.
first
Those
one of
animals.
today.
Really?
First one of today. I missed Miz's. Yeah, I had to go lay down. I had a headache developing, so I could do the stream
Oh,
tonight. I'm sorry, Miz. I have to catch it on the rewind.
No, that's all right, man. It was good, man. Because I was just went on because I just felt like talking. I've been quiet through this whole thing the last few
Yeah.
days. I haven't made a video. I said I'm just not gonna make a video like everybody else did. I'm gonna wait. Let's see what happens. And
Yep.
as I went on to start to talk about it, the news broke live in the middle of my show. And let me tell you something, man. It erupted. It was great.
Good deal. Good
So
deal.
many people went nuts, and all the Philly guys came over from the Philly chat and invaded the chat for like 5 minutes. It was. I like
No.
that.
All right. Well, Miz, I will catch you here in half an hour. Hit Squad, thank you for
Yes,
having me
sir.
on. Rodney, we will talk later, fellas. Till then.
All right,
Peace.
there, Joe.
Sir,
guys.
subscribe to these great content creators. Thank you so much for everyone coming through, man. I really appreciate it. We're gonna be on Joel's channel later for the cave. It's gonna be a great one, man. I put everybody's links in the chat. You guys can go subscribe to them, show them love, and I appreciate you guys again, man. For real, it's been real.
Yes, sir.
No problem there, man. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.